Hey everybody, welcome back to Henbarper. Today we're going to be drawing and designing evolutions for Sprigatito, the capricious grass cat Pokemon. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as I've got coming up on the channel evolutions for Fuecoco and evolutions for Quaxley, as well as wildly unnecessary evolutions for a Pokemon you might be familiar with, as well as some Pokemon Nuzlocke content. So you've got that to look forward to. Please enjoy this design process video. I started by making a reference sheet with a bunch of grass starter Pokemon and cat Pokemon and pictures of big cats. I definitely wanted the final evolution of Sprigatito to be very panther shaped. So I did some sketches on pencil and paper to get some ideas out. And I knew from the beginning that I wanted my designs for these final evolutions of the Gen 9 starters to be very, very simple, kind of like in the first generation or two. I really liked those designs a lot. Just simple, very monster-like, less details. And so for Sprigatito's final evolution, which I don't have a name for, I'm just going to call him Sprig Panther. Okay, for Sprig Panther is going to have a grassy mane that's going to extend down its belly and onto the inside of its limbs, as well as down its tail, and grow some big grassy whiskers and some barky branch antlers that will extend down its back to form a kind of bark armor on its back. If you look at Sprigatito, the design elements we have to work with are its kind of dark green grassy patch on its face, as well as some big floofy fur poofs on the side of its head, and the kind of leafage that's underneath its chin, that kind of bow tie leafage. And so I figured as it grows and reaches its final evolution, that kind of leafage under the chin will become the mane and then extend down the belly and onto the tail. And the face leafage will kind of harden and form a bark-like wood material that would be both offensive and defensive for this Pokemon, with the antlers and the bark armor. And those floofy fur poofs on the side of its face would kind of shrink and fall off, and it would instead grow some big grassy whiskers. And I thought that was a pretty cool design. We were trying some different color schemes. I really liked the idea of it becoming very dark like that, but had to exercise some self-restraint and keep it close to the original colors. A little subdued. But I just really like the idea of Sprig Panther with all its grassy underbelly rolling over and laying in the sunlight, absorbing it in its grassy belly. You see there, I forgot the back leg, so Sprig Panther is a four-legged creature. And after I got that done, we began work on Sprigato, the middle evolution. See, I've already got those floofy hair poofs on the cheeks, kind of withering away a little bit, and the beginnings of the grassy whiskers. And Sprigato's just got the beginnings of the grass antlers. They're just coming in. I had an idea for differentiating among the Sprigatito line, different members of the species, that perhaps their antlers are always growing and they kind of trim them themselves. So you have some Sprig Panthers that have just really short antlers. They keep them nice and trim, and then others that don't really mess with it and they just let them grow wild. You can see just by virtue of filling in the blanks between Sprigatito and Sprig Panther, we've got Sprigatito with the big poofy tail and Sprig Panther with the long skinny one. And Sprigato wound up looking very fox-like. It's basically exactly a foxtail. And I had some trouble getting the ears how I wanted them. and the head shape on Sprigatito. But I eventually got to a spot that I liked. I think you'll see later I still shorten it a little bit. And we can already see the forming of the grassy mane on Sprigatito and the dark green grassy texture going down the legs and the belly. See, it's there already, but it's not as fluffy as it is on Sprigatito. Coloring in, you can kind of see we're about to get to our first finished render of the whole Sprigatito family. As I get the shading done here. I'm not in love with the expression I got on Sprigatito here, but I may come back later and mess with that a little bit. But it serves its purpose. The middle evolution is always kind of awkward. But there's our first render of the Sprigatito family with Sprigatito and Sprigatito. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I got some feedback from some friends and decided we needed to elongate Sprigatito's snoot a little bit and try with the antlers a little bigger on Sprigatito. And also on Sprigatito, we're going to try out some more moose-like palmate antlers. You see, I also finally figured out how I wanted to do the ears on Sprigatito. I just kind of shortened them and brought them in a little bit. I think it looks much better. So I did a full recoloring here because I somehow deleted my layers that had all the individualized color layers. Not sure how I did that, but that's part of the game sometimes with digital art. But yeah, so I think I do like Sprigatito much better with those just a little bit longer antlers. See here, we try and go in, get the palmate shapes. It was much more difficult because they have depth. They have multiple layers of antlers in different kinds, and it was weird to draw. But I kind of like the result. It's not where we ended today, but it looks kind of cool. I think I might like to come back in and try again and try and redo another go with the different version of the palmate antlers. But you'll see here shortly our second render with these two versions, and I'm pretty happy with the way they both turned out. You just get those final bits of grass colored in, and there we go, render number 2. We got Sprigatito with longer antlers and Sprigatito with more moose-like palmate antlers. And I think that looks pretty good too. So I tried to do even bigger palmate antlers, but I couldn't get it the way I liked, so I decided to just try it with the big crazy branch antlers, huge, going all over the place for Sprigatito and for Sprigatito. Smaller, but still the same kind of general style. I had to recolor them, obviously, and I think these look pretty cool too. And forgot to do the texture on the bark back earlier, so I'm going to fix that up a little bit. And there we go. There's our final render of Sprigatito, Sprigatito, and Sprigatito. Working title. But yeah, please leave a comment. Tell me if you like the first, second, or third render better, or if you have any ideas how to improve the design. I'd love to hear it. And there you go. That's my take on evolutions for Sprigatito. Like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.